body, and this guy really does define the term warrior, I think, Rich.
Well, all you have to do is take a look at some of the fighters that he's beaten during the course of his career. I mean, outstanding fighters. We showed that close De La Hoya loss, but I mean, this is a guy who defeated Juan Laporte, who defeated Tony Lopez, who defeated Goyo Vargas, who defeated the current IBF featherweight champion of the world, Manuel Medina. He has had big wins over big-time fighters.
Well, he also defeated the guy he's fighting tonight, James Crayton, but it should be noted that in that fight, it was not easy. Crayton dropped him, so Mills, I have to think that John Molina taking a chance fighting a guy like Crayton tonight.
You're absolutely correct, Barry. Crayton is a good fighter, but as Rick said, John Molina has been in with the best. I mean, he's fought them all. This kid, to put Molina on the floor, Molina's got a good chance. This kid can fight. This is a heck of a fight. Could be a heck of a fight.
It really is. And John Molina is in a situation where he really cannot afford to lose to a fighter like James Crayton. And I don't mean to be degrading James Crayton. In fact, I'm not. He's a veteran fighter, and he's a very good fighter. But he falls into that category of club fighter. And I don't think if John Molina can't beat him, then he has to give serious thought to what the future may hold.
Well, he has been in with a lot of good fighters, but he has to prove that he can definitely beat the top-notch guys.
All right, with that, then, let's take it to the center of the ring and Michael Buffer.
Introducing first, coming out of the red corner, working back to the red ring, 157 pounds. This record, 3 victories, including 19 knockouts with 9 defeats and 2 draws. Fighting out of Las Vegas.
And there is a look at James Crayton, and Crayton is a guy, as he is being introduced right now, Crayton is a guy who has been in also with some pretty good opponents. He always seems to take fights at the last minute, as he did here tonight against John Molina, and every now and then he jumps up and handles somebody. You see his record, 30 up with 9 down. He's not a guy who's likely to get you out of there, certainly not with one punch, but he has 19 knockouts along the way in his 30 victories, and he is considered, I think, has to be considered a dangerous opponent. As to the other side of the ring, John Molina, we talked about all the fighters that he has beaten. He has an enviable record of 46-6, and he is a guy that can get you out of there with one punch. 31 knockouts in his 46 victories. John Molina looking for that one more chance for a 4th championship. Let's take a look then at the numbers as we look at the tail of the tape in this fight between Molina and Crayton. And the number that does jump out, of course, is age, and that is Molina at 34 years of age, 5 years the senior of Crayton. Crayton a couple of inches taller, doesn't really mean much of anything, and neither does the reach. So other than the fact that Molina is 5 years older, there's not much to choose, at least on the number side of things. Here are the rules in the state of New Jersey. No 3 knockdown rule, no standing 8 count. A fighter can't be saved with a bell in any round, including the final round, and it's only the referee that can stop the fight. On the butt rule, we go to the cards after half the fight is complete. So that would mean after the 5th round. And we're underway, round 1.
Molina is known at times, if the fight gets rough, he'll kind of like that. And if it gets into a few extracurricular and illegal type tactics, he is willing to go to that as well.
Well, John Molina took Oscar De La Hoya to school on the infighting in the rough stuff. It was a rough, tough fight.
Yes.
Matter of fact, that was a rough fight.
Now, he lost a couple of fights to Shane Mosley, who I think all of us agree. We've talked about bright hopes, and certainly we're seeing one tonight in David Reed, but none brighter, I don't believe, than Shane Mosley.
Well, the Mosley fight, Mosley got him out of there the way that he does a lot of fighters, by battering him to the body. Shane has got not only tremendous speed, but I think he's the best body puncher in all of boxing right now. And he just wore down Molina with that tremendous barrage of punches. But since then, Molina has also fought for a title. He had a very close fight with Roberto Garcia for the 130-pound crown, and he lost that on a very narrow decision. In fact, he dropped Garcia in the final round of that bout.
Yeah, and he said he had come back from an appendectomy 6 weeks prior to the Garcia fight. He had had an appendectomy. He also said that he was sick the night that he lost to Shane Mosley, had stomach problems. Of course, I would imagine being punched in the stomach on numerous occasions probably added to those stomach problems. There's a good right hand right there.
Molina looks sharp.
He's a no-nonsense guy, and he knows he can't afford another loss, and particularly to Crayton.
Well, Crayton is a good boxer. He's been in there with a lot of good fighters. He narrowly lost to Gabriel Ruelas, narrowly lost to Derek Gainer. Narrowly lost to undefeated Chico Castillo. I mean, these were all very close fights. There you see a little bit of what could be the beginning of some roughhouse tactics. But what happens, Crayton has had a tendency to build up early leads. In all of those fights, he had the leads, and yet, but down the stretch, and this could be because he has all those short notice fights, Barry, he has faded. I've done a couple of his fights, and I mentioned that in the past. Once I called it a classic Crayton fade, and he took real offense to that. He let me know it the next time. And yesterday at the hotel, when he saw me, yelled down at the hotel to me. He goes, "Hey, Rich, no classic fade this time, huh?"
Well, he hasn't had a chance to because Molina's been on him right from the get-go here. "30 seconds remaining here in the first round, and Molina has gotten on the gas very quickly in this fight. He's got Crayton pretty much in a defensive posture.
Come on, right? Yeah, see, Crayton's putting that shoulder on Molina's chin.
Good body shot by Molina. Very effective first round by John Molina. We got much more to come from Atlantic City. Go away.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2.
John Molina sees a low left hand here of James Crayton, and as Crayton unloads his own left, he comes right over the top with his own right hand. A very effective punch from Molina.
Mills, I thought that was a very good first round for Molina.
Strong first round, 10-9, clearly strong for that. And what Richard talked about, what you call a right cross, a cross over the left jab.
There's another quick right hand, and Molina really taking advantage of that lazy left hand of Crayton's. Take a look at the numbers in the first round. Molina was busier and more effective, and that's the name of the game. And these two exchanged a few words at the end of the first round as well. Crayton was very angry last night at the weigh-in. One of the reasons was originally they had talked about you could come in a pound overweight. That's exactly what Crayton did. And then they said, no, you can't do that. So Crayton had to go lose a pound. And not that it was a big deal, but it was a principal issue for him.
That's interesting, Barry, but generally if you make, say, it's 140, it's 140 give or take. That means you get 141. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Stop back.
James Crayton was involved in a ring tragedy in 1997 in Las Vegas. He stopped a fighter by the name of John Montantes in a bout, and Montantes never regained consciousness, died 2 days later. As we've seen in many cases, Mills, fighters a lot of times aren't the same fighter after that happens.
Some never recover. I'm not sure that Boom Boom Mancini fully recovered, although he's a good kid and nice young man after Duck who came, and the same thing was Griffith after Perez.
And you know, with Gabriel Ruelas, many people feel he was never the same fighter after his opponent died after that fight. Well, there could be a lot of that in this fight. I mean, Molina is known for that.
And Eddie Johnson, once again, Mills, you can speak to this. I think Eddie Johnson's doing a great job taking charge of this fight.
Absolutely, and he does what I used to do. He'd stop the fight, call time, get him again, and say, knock that off. Both of them.
They both seem to want a war, and Molina, Rich, has been very effective here while you guys were talking. Very effective to the body, and that, of course, is going to bring those hands of Crayton down even more.
Crayton has got to use his jab, though, got to use his speed. He's a clever fighter, and that's what he needs to do. I don't think he wants to be right in here with John Molina. I think John is the trickier of the two in here and has the advantage. But Crayton on the outside is a good boxer and has fine skills and can make a fight of this.
We talked about Crayton wearing out at the end of fights, and Molina obviously going to school on that and doing a lot of good body work in this second round. And that's the kind of stuff that ultimately has a big effect on an opponent. We'll see if it does here.
Well, watching these two guys fight, they're not exactly having a tea out there. These two guys are using ref house tactics, hitting on the break, hitting in clinches, and nearly hitting the referee.
It's going to be a nice little fight. And the referee's doing a good job out there, no question about it.
I think this fight, though, suits John Molina, Rich.
Well, he's an expert in this kind of fighting. You know, that's not to denigrate his skill in any, you know, it's the guy is a good, skillful warrior and has been a professional since '86. Really knows how to do it. Really knows how to work a man.
Here are the body punches thrown by Molina, and you can see he's gone downstairs 2-1.
I like the way he takes that left hook to the liver. Then he throws the left hook over the top again. He's a good journeyman.
Well, you know, almost every combination that Molina will throw will have a body punch somewhere in there as part of the 3 or 4 punches that he throws.
Molina, there's a look at David Reed. He, of course, coming up, putting his 154-pound WBA title on the line against Kevin Kelly, the #1 ranked challenger from Australia. Reed looking very calm, as he always is. Good right hand to the head by Molina. Molina just...
Molina's upstairs, downstairs. He's giving this kid a shellacking right now.
Yeah, he's piling up the points here. As Crayton seems content to fight right at the distance that seems to suit Molina.
And Molina seems willing to walk right through his punches. He was inviting Crayton to go ahead and take a swing at his chin moments ago. So experienced. Molina won his first championship back in 1989 when he beat Juan Laporte. In his very next fight, he annexed Tony Lopez's championship in the same division as well.
Been fighting for 3 decades.
Turned pro in '86. Asked him about Crayton yesterday. He says, well, the only thing I really remember is that guy hits hard.
Crayton dropped him face first in their last fight. Molina came back to win a unanimous decision.
Funny thing is James is not really known as a big-time puncher.
Crayton went through a rough period in 1997. He lost 4 of his 6 fights in '97. And then he's made amends for it since then. We're coming back.
Vamos a poner el aire.
Pues entonces boxea, pendiente de lo de él. ¿Cómo?
¿No estás boxeando?
Sí, está boxeando, pero que no te metas mucho de golpe de frente.
The entire round, you know, once you suck into a brutal, jab is a kick, you're too smart for that. Eventually you land that right? Trying so hard to land it before you get off the jab. Vamos arriba.
Molina will keep throwing punches and combinations even if he's not successful. See how that one's blocked? But he doesn't stop throwing. He keeps throwing until one gets through, as that left jab did.
Almost every combination that he throws, which is almost always more than 2 punches, he gets one home, at least. So far on Mills Lane's scorecard, a shutout, huh?
Absolutely. I got Molina winning all 3 rounds, 10-9.
Crayton holding on.
It's going to get rough.
Well, you had your hands full, Mills, when you did Molina's fight with De La Hoya, and that was a night's work for you.
It was the toughest fight ever refereed, no question. The referee's getting on him, though.
Warning him that he's going to take a point away. Look at Molina talk to Crayton. And he took a shot, too. While he was talking, Crayton drilled it.
But you can't get reckless against Crayton. I mean, he's a sharpshooter. Crayton has those good skills, and he's a sharp puncher. Not a heavy-handed guy, but is sharp with his punching.
Yeah, he doesn't have a heavy hand, but if he hits you on the chin, he's a sharp punch. You will go down. He's getting out hustled, though, I think, by Molina. Molina's a tough, rough kid.
Let's see if that one shot doesn't make him a little braver, though. Crayton's really fighting Molina's fight, though, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so. Right there. No reason for him to be there. He can't win this fight. Right here, fighting like this, what good is it? See how Molina will go outside his guard. He will put that left hook to the body outside those 2 upraised arms. See, he's still landing those punches.
That shot down the liver, that hurt. Oh, good right uppercut and the left hand behind it.
Sure was. That's a recipe for success. The uppercut in close quarters. And there's one from Crayton.
I thought Molina was really wise in the way that he was attacking the upraised arms, which Crayton was keeping tight in on his body, but he was leaving his sides exposed, so Molina would just go around him.
Throw that left hook to the liver. That's a liver shot. That hurts.
Punch out there. Right.
Crayton is the current WBA NA champion. That's a North American championship. The sanctioning organizations just can't invent enough new championships.
They're going to run out of letters before they run out of championships. Molina ducked into a left hand by Crayton, but Molina right back, took a right hand from Crayton. Crayton finding a bit of an answer and countering here. It's not a bad round for James Crayton, but I suppose you have to ask the question, is it enough? It's a beat-up face right there, isn't it? And that's the guy that's winning.
Look at how he goes around and through the defense of Crayton. That was great work by Molina. He went first to the body, then right up the middle. Off of the ropes, Crayton did not do a real good job, I didn't think. And here was he's just about to throw that rabbit punch, too.
I'm taking the point from the both of you.
Well, a reminder to check out Macho Movies on FX tomorrow. A Vietnam vet who's out to catch the bad guys in Sworn Enemies. That's tomorrow at 11:30, only on FX.
Corner.
Back here at the Boardwalk Convention Hall. We talk about this being a very historic building. Been a ton of championship fights in the main arena here. And of course, too, this was the first place that they ever played an indoor college football game.
In this hall?
Not in this hall. It'd be a very short game.
I was going to say.
Take a look at some of the numbers here, and as we show you the numbers in each of the rounds, these are punches landed as opposed to punches thrown. Molina very consistent, but for the second round, and that was a round in which we had him as winning.
I think Crayton knows, and those punches indicate that he picked up the pace in that last round.
I thought he had a pretty good round.
See, this is good distance for him. And out in the middle ring, center ring, utilize some lateral movement. This is what does a good job for Crayton. This is how he should fight.
Well, he's got to fight him at long range. You can't get close with him, but what he's going to have to do is going to have to throw more punches, long range or not. Molina is just too much for him right now. I think he's smothering him.
Molina trying to keep him pinned on the ropes, and Crayton trying to extricate himself. Finally just shoves Molina off him.
That might not be a bad strategy if he finds that he can't slide off the ropes or whatever, just to take Molina by the shoulders and
push him away. Absolutely. Push him away. Jab, 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 push, hook. Right hand behind it, but you're going to have to fight. That's the way.
He's had some success with that, and he brings that right hand very quickly behind the left.
He looked like he was just getting into it in the last round, and he's more so even here.
Punch out there.
If I was Molina, I would look at the ref. Look at the guy in front of me.
Molina again trying to go downstairs, then he comes up with a right hand.
I think he's a damn fool.
Crayton tried to stick and move here. Get in with a couple of punches and get out of harm's way.
He's getting that body shot. He's getting standing there on the ropes. He's going to get hit downstairs all night long. Now he's going to chop away and move on.
Mills, do you get irritated as a referee, or do you think that's typical of referees to get irritated if a guy is continually appealing to them about something that's going on in the
yeah, I just tell him to fight and knock off that. Say, don't worry, you fight the guy in front of me. If something goes wrong, I'll tell you about it. Just fight.
Molina really wants Crayton to come to him. Crayton, generally speaking, is obliged, but Molina just missed with that uppercut. Short right hand's been a good weapon for Crayton the last couple of rounds. Fight getting much more competitive after Molina dominated. Crayton starting to work his way back into this. We're coming back on FX.
Let's keep him in the center of the ring, James. Keep him in the center of the ring, okay? With the jab. He's still begging you to jab this guy. Every time you jab and shoot a right hand, it works like no. That's the key. You lock it up, give him a push, and find the center of the ring, go back to jab the spots. Okay? Every time you're backing on the rope, it looks like he's working. So, okay? I want you to the jab, down the center of the pipe. You're a lot better boxer. That's what you need. Jab down the pipe. Eventually, that right hand is going to land. Okay?
Seconds, let's go. Let's take this out. Check this out. Man, you corner. Man, you corner. Man, you corner, John.
We welcome you back. Barry Tompkins, Rich Murata, Mills Lane ringside. Sean O'Grady in the house as well. Watching James Crayton in the black trunks and John Molina in the white.
Yeah, both Edwards is corner for Crayton. A good corner man. Give him some good advice. Just push him off, jab, stay in the center of the ring. Don't get on the ropes.
I think Bose Edwards, great tactician. Mills, you gave that last round to Crayton.
I did. Close round, and I thought he nosed it out.
Well, what Bose Edwards was saying to Crayton is just keep the jab going. Eventually, that right hand will be there.
And he really wants him to stay off the ropes.
That was a push, a slip.
No knockdown. Okay. Walk the round the head, behind the head, okay?
Molina was shaking his head no as he went down. I think Molina wants to fight and ref the fight also.
Yeah.
He wants to fight for sure. He wants to. He'd like the referee let him go in the trenches.
I think he wants to get Crayton angry. He saw Crayton sort of blow up last night at the weigh-in, and I think he's trying to work that. That was a good right hand by Molina. Molina taking that stance that an angry fighter is not an effective fighter, and He's really whooping it, Crayton, trying to get it.
Yeah, he's talking an awful lot in there. Mills, you think refs, and what about yourself, should allow that, or is that okay, a little bit of that?
Well, I used to let him do it a little bit, but it got to the point where I'd tell him to knock it off, and I'd go to the corner between around and say, that's enough of that crap. Let's get in there and fight. And talking no good. But if they wanted a little bit, I didn't care.
There's a right hand by Crayton, and boy, Molina was open for that.
James should just use more lateral movement in this fight. He's successful when he does. But then again, that body attack might be starting to take the legs away from him.
He doesn't bounce as well as he did a couple of rounds ago.
Punch combination from Molina.
Another slip. I imagine that ring is getting slippery just from perspiration on the painted parts.
Yeah, Molina's got rubber shoulders, though. He shouldn't have that much of a problem. He's taking control again, though. He's banging Crayton around, and Crayton letting him do it. Referee's done a good job here. Good shot.
Yep.
Two good shots.
A right to the body and a right hand.
He got
Crayton. Big time shot. And it all started with a body shot.
Crayton at first looked like he wasn't going to make it up, but he shows that courage, and he's going to stagger back to his corner. Look at those legs. Did you see those legs? He was stumbling back to his corner.
He got nailed.
It was a right hand that drove him down, but I tell you, the whole thing started with an excellent body shot.
All right, he seemed to be softening up, Crayton. He went to the body, and then the left hook to the head got him going. And that right
there.
Beautiful shots, and Molina, as we said, just doesn't stop punching.
Watch the cross. Watch the cross right there. That right there. That's the cross.
Well, you see that knee just buckled. His leg completely buckled underneath him. This is a savage combination by Molina. And Crayton, just a sitting duck. No movement from James in that round.
Once again, though, you can't emphasize enough that as soon as he hit him to the body, both those arms came down, and that's what made everything happen after that.
Absolutely. That was a good shot. A major league shot.
Now, I don't know if that 60 seconds is going to be enough for James Crayton.
And Molina wisely jumps right on him. He knows he went back on wobbly pins. Crayton bouncing around, just trying to get some life into those legs.
Very impressive showing tonight by Molina.
Absolutely.
I just can't believe he's fighting at this level of fighting after being a professional since 1986, 34 years of age. I mean, it takes guys like Mosley or Garcia or De La Hoya to beat him.
You know, he might even be older than 34, too. He's named John. He got when John Kennedy was a little boy, so. But watch him rip underneath. He's going to get this kid in trouble.
I think Crayton is already in trouble here. Eddie Johnson taking a very close look at Crayton.
Stationary target again. That's bound to get James Crayton in trouble. When he was moving in rounds 4 and 5, he was in good shape.
He's got no legs at all right now, Rich.
See how he goes around the upraised arms again. Every time he utilizes that kind of defense, Molina quickly switches the attack to the body.
And Molina, of course, being the veteran, he's not going to let Crayton get off those ropes, and I'm not sure Crayton's legs will let him off the ropes.
Well, body attacks will wear you down, they will take away your legs, and they will eventually break your heart, man.
Yeah, one of the guys say he don't like it down there, so you show me somebody that does.
There's a right hand from Crayton. Crayton's had a couple here.
Crayton's got guts, I'll tell you that. He's fighting back. It's getting
three left hands from Molina. All got there.
Triple hooks.
Crayton has fought 3 times this year and has won all 3 by KO. Annexing that title we told you about earlier, that minor North American championship, but certainly not against this type of competition.
Okay, punch out, punch out, punch out.
You see John Molina, he shows you how ridiculous the current ratings are of any of these organizations that currently rank boxers and the total chaos that surrounds the sport, because John Molina's not ranked by anybody.
It's truly remarkable.
You know, that is the tragedy of the next thing, he's got his head underneath the chin. That's the tragedy of the sanctioning bodies. They manipulate the ratings, and it is a shame, really.
Molina's angry now.
Take a point.
And they're going to take
a point
away from Crayton.
And he's right. He put his chin under his chin for the second, head under the chin for the third time. It's a good call by the ref.
And there's another big right hand by Molina, just to emphasize his point.
So it's going to be 2 straight 10-8 rounds now for John.
Yep. You really have the sense that there's no love lost between these two guys.
All right, now watch the heads come together. Now look where Crayton's head is, and Molina did a good job of getting his head on top of the head of Crayton, and he helped that out a little bit.
Pretty good performance falling into the ropes by Molina, too. Still to come, of course, our main event, the battle for the WBA Super Welterweight title. David Reed, the holder, against the #1 ranked Kevin Kelly of Australia. There is a look at David Reed, and Mills made this point earlier, but David Reed's a guy who goes to the office every day. They talk about blue-collar fighters. I think this guy's as much white-collar as he is blue-collar, just a real pro.
There you see his much talked about eye, which was recently operated on again for the 3rd time to lift that droopy eyelid. He said this time, hey, he goes, I'm not getting hurt by that eye in the ring. He said he had the surgery for cosmetic purposes. Maybe so we'd stop talking about it.
Yeah, that's probably it. I think we asked him, are you tired of answering these questions? And he's a good sport about it, David Reed. We'll talk more about it, of course, as we get to our main event. Take a look at the numbers in this fight, and I'm quite sure they will show a rather lopsided number, and they do for John Molina. Well, Molina has been in a very consistent tempo right from the opening bell.
Molina's done a good job of boxing as well in this fight. I mean, he's not just some brawler.
No,
He's a wise fighter.
This kid, John Molina, is a very, very good pro. He's what you call a good journeyman, a real good journeyman. Maybe not quite good enough to be a world champion, but a good journeyman. And he can be competitive with virtually anybody in his weight. A tough kid, too.
Yeah, he is.
Obviously came in here in terrific shape.
He's the kind of guy you go in a foxhole, you in combat, you want him in a foxhole with you.
My luck, I get rich.
Oh, boy. Did you guys set that up? Oh, man.
That's terrible.
Oh.
Morales, my man. He's off on my man.
You know, I'm not doubting the veracity of the statement.
At least I know we'd eat well.
Oh.
I'll say this for Crayton. Here's a kid that was down, really on the verge of getting knocked out. He's back throwing punches. He's getting beat, but he's giving it his best shot. I respect that.
Yeah, he is. It actually looks like he has his legs back under him a little bit.
Yeah, he's off the hook now. John let him off that hook.
What's really hurting Crayton in this round, believe it or not, is the Molina jab. He's been jabbing with it and doing a pretty good job. Molina's sticking it out there, setting it up for his own.
There's an uppercut from Crayton, and Molina comes right back with a combination. Crayton has had his moments, but they've been too few and very far between. And again, Crayton gets there with one, and he actually got Molina going back with another right hand. He's had a pretty good right hand, but just not nearly enough. We'll be back right after this.
One good one is all I want. One good one. No? Okay? go big. Okay? Everything you dish out big, Joe. It's ready to go. You know, it's such tough competitor that he's hanging in there. But anything big, get him out of there, Joe. Okay? I think you gotta go. You gotta dish out big. This is the rounds that counts now. I want you so good. You gotta look good. This is it. You gotta shine. Okay?
His legs are sharp. When you're pushing him around the ring, all you gotta do is go harmony.
Welcome back. We come to round number 9, and Crayton's still here and still battling, but been a tough battle against the veteran John Molina.
Boza Edwards, a.k.a. Cornelius Boza Edwards, as he was known in his championship boxing days, was pleading with James in the corner and saying, come on, James, you've got to shine now. You've got to have these last 2 rounds, and you've got to shine. You've got to look good.
These last 2 rounds won't be enough. He's got to put one on the chin of John and get him out of there.
Walked into a right hand from Molina, and you can see on Mills Lane's card, Crayton would need more than these last couple of rounds, as you said. There's a look at Boza Edwards. Very wise voice in the corner, an outstanding fighter in his own right.
I'll never forget those wars he had with Bobby Chacon. Yikes, you talk about bloodbath, yes. Woo-wee.
Yeah, after this fight, Crayton probably told Boza that John hit 222, too hard, too fast, and too regular. John's boxing himself pretty good out there now.
Yeah, he really is. He's sort of giving you the whole package tonight.
The kid can fight. The kid is a good journeyman pro.
Right. And of course, he's held 3 world championships during the course of his career, beating all those good fighters we enumerated for you earlier, including Goyo Vargas, Manuel Medina, Tony Lopez. And then in recent years, it's taken a great fighter to beat him.
And he may yet get another shot. I mean, you know, off this performance against another veteran, very impressive. He's in great shape. He looks like a guy who still, you know, on a given night is capable of beating virtually anybody. I emphasize the word virtually anybody.
See, but that's the trouble with the sanction bars. A kid like that, they don't want to put the guy in with him because you might get beaten. Maybe you can't draw.
Well, that's a good point. It's always tough, especially as we said earlier. He's not ranked right now, and that in itself is a crime.
Boy, Crayton is fighting a very good round and very effective.
Yes, sir. You got to give the kid some credit.
You know, his last fight that he had, which was a KO victory over Jorge Lopez, was different than his usual way of fighting, in that he started slower and really came on as the fight wore on.
And there's Molina right back with a combination again. Everything John Molina throws is a combination. For a young fighter, this is a good guy to look at. We'll be back.
Last and final round. Come out and touch me.
Last round, James. That right hand, you gotta go. Okay? You expect it's never gone before. You gotta send it out there, please. Okay? It's all yours for it to shoot. You gotta execute him now. It's all yours.
We welcome you back. We come to round number 10. They touch gloves. This has been an action fight, been a very entertaining fight.
Well, you've had 2 real professional prize fighters in this ring.
Crayton still got some snap in his punches, too. That's surprising after the shellac he took in the middle of the fight. When knocked down. He got Molina got hooked with the left hook there.
Look at Molina, 34 years old. Guy's fought over 50 fights, been in a number of wars. And look at him here in the 10th round of a tough fight. He's up on his toes, he's bouncing around, plenty of lateral movement. Looks like he could fight 20 rounds.
He really does. Well, he says he's in the gym. This is a profession.
That's right. These guys that are to make a go of it, go to the office every day. Oh, another good shot.
Huge. Crayton says I'm all right, and you know he's not.
His legs betrayed him again, and a squirt of blood from the face of James Crayton after that shot.
Molina not going after him.
Yeah, he looks almost compassionate here.
Yeah, he does. That might be just respect for a fellow warrior. Crayton, I thought, did his best to fight him.
He looked for a moment there, though, like he had Crayton at his mercy.
Yeah, he did.
And he didn't jump on him.
He did have a hit him with a good shot. You know, I think John's very tired right now. He did hit him with a good shot, but I'm not sure he can jump on him as much as he liked to in the earlier round.
Sure got a lot of bounce in his legs, though.
He does, but he just doesn't look like he has the same firepower.
There you go. Great stuff. Come on, guys. Come on, you go, guys.
They leaned their heads right on each other.
Molina's still talking to Crayton. Still wants him to come to him. And Crayton obliges with a left hand. Actually knocked Molina backward. Well, a couple of warriors tonight, Rich.
Yes, it is. Two pros. Real prize fighters, giving it their all, getting in shape for a fight, and going out there and fighting for 10 rounds. Can't ask for more.
That's what they get paid to do, and unfortunately some of them don't.
And remember, James Crayton face down, flat in his face a few rounds ago. And yet here he is, and hurt even in this round. And here he is still trying. The bell rang by accident. That's
Rang early. It's still, as you see on the clock, 10 seconds left. Probably a couple seconds more because of that brief stoppage.
They're still hitting on the break. Last 10 seconds of the fight.
Why change now? And that's it. And again, Eddie Johnson has to step between him even when the fight is over. And there's still bad blood between them. That was not an attaboy.
You know, John Molina's just not the kind of guy who's going to be your good buddy after a fight. After you fight him, hey, we just fought. Well, that was quite a round to finish with. And John Molina, I thought, really had one big opportunity as he seemed to hurt James Crayton early in the round. See that left hook. Now watch the legs. There they go. Stumbling back. Crayton had kind of a blank look on his face, but to his credit, he came right back, got himself back into the mix.
Absolutely. Well, our main event is going to have to go something to be as exciting as this one. I don't think there's any doubt as to the outcome, but David Reed still tuning up with Al Mitchell, putting his 154-pound WBA title on the line in only his 12th fight. He won the title. And he's got a guy who's very intent on doing a little business of his own, Kevin Kelly. And Kevin Kelly hadn't really broken a sweat yet, interestingly enough. You want to come in here warm, of course. Kelly, the #1 contender, a man on a mission, trying to win not only for his country, but for all the Aborigine people in Australia. He feels he is a representative of theirs, and he wants it for them as much as for him. Well, on Tuesday, it's the premiere of the Dick and Paula Celebrity Special, and you won't believe the guests they've lined up. Guess who's going to be there, Rich? The Marquis de Sade. Romantic or sadist? Hear it from the man himself. This week on the Dick and Paula Celebrity Special, where guests are wanted, dead or alive. That's Tuesday at 10, only on FX. That sounds great. So we await the decision. I don't think the decision is very much in doubt. Let's go to Michael Buffer right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the Budweiser scorecards. Melvina Lathan scores the bout 99-89. John Pottery has it 100-88. And Joseph Pasquale scores it 99-89 for the winner by unanimous decision, John Molina.
A lopsided fight, but still a fight that had an awful lot of fan interest and a lot of television interest. As Rich Murata said, I mean, this is what professional prize fighting is all about. Two guys having at each other from the opening bell to the closing bell, and you're looking at the winner, beaten but unbowed.